All right, guys, we're back on location for another macro cycle update. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, the stock markets, and interest rates as well. We've seen something for the first time this year. Probably want to cover Bitcoin first up. And I want to discuss the timeframes now when it comes to reaching a new all-time high. There was a couple of comments yesterday. People are referencing Bitcoin price and the all-time high based on where it was at the halving, and then also now that it's hit an all-time high, how much longer that's going to take to get to another new all-time high. From what I can see, the consensus is it should happen soon. Obviously, we've seen Bitcoin down now in the last 24 hours. It got rejected at another 50% level as we've been watching. It just keeps trying to climb and get rejected. So it keeps hitting those levels and coming back down. Overall, my position has not changed when it comes to the macro. I'm still macro bullish, but I think this is the wave 4 that we've been waiting for. And where that low comes in is something I want to discuss in just a moment. So with the current position of Bitcoin, where it's been down now from the all-time high for about 45 days. This is the lowest close it's had since the 27th of February, so about 63 days. What we've seen from Bitcoin in the past, sorry, the sun's getting a bit bright here, but anyway, you want to listen to me, not look at me. What we've seen from Bitcoin in the past is 60 days down. That was in 2023. We saw it twice. From those peaks from 30K down to 25K. So it happened twice, right? Now, other people tend to think that because Bitcoin reached a new all-time high, what's happened in the past is it only took a few weeks for Bitcoin to get back to another new all-time high. And that obviously is not the case. It's not my opinion, it's just what's happened. It's been 48 days now since the previous all-time high on the 14th of March, and I don't think it's going to happen in the next week or two. So that would then lead us to about 60 days. So that could bring us out to mid-May, as we are now the 1st of May, and that could be 60 days down, right? It still needs to climb back to a new all-time high. That's only just looking at it from the current. So that's the first thing. All-time high prices. Bitcoin has hit those before. 2020, okay, hit a new all-time high. Only took a couple of weeks and then it took off again. So people were sort of referencing that. In 2016 or early 2017, it hit a new all-time high. It took a few more weeks, about a month or two, and then it hit a new all-time high again. We're now into that 2-month period, and I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. When I say soon, the week or two to get to that sort of 60 days. So that's the all-time highs. Now with the halving, similar sort of thing. It's got to a halving point. People think it just sort of takes a few weeks and then it sort of blasts off again. We've looked at this when it comes to the data itself and the swings on the chart, the months, consecutive months in the green and consecutive months in a row, right? From lows to highs. September was the low, March was the top, sort of 6 to 7 months there when you count it out in the days. And we were anticipating a pause or a correction. Now, I don't think it's going to be a major correction, but there's obviously been a correction. We're at 20% now, so similar to what we've seen in the past year for Bitcoin, 20% corrections, 22%. Okay, so I've covered in terms of timeframes with the all-time high and how I don't think it's going to happen like last time, 2020 or 2016. That doesn't mean that this time is different. I think you just got to follow the patterns of technical analysis, not what influencers reference when it comes to has to be this all-time high, has to be that all-time high in terms of time frames, right? What we've seen with patterns is the number of green months in a row. Sort of an easy way to look at it is if you can take rules from any technical analysis rules and then apply them to different markets and there is some sort of and they work in other markets, then those rules stack up to the test of time. That's just an oversimplified understanding or meaning of TA and the rules, right? But if you pull something from the halving and say that, it happened this time on the halving, therefore it must happen the next time, you can't apply that to any other market because no other markets have halvings and everyone knows about the halving, so it's going to change over time, right? So that's in terms of where we are with how the market is moving from the lows, how it's been corrected and now it's trying to find a bottom. So what we looked at were those months up. We've looked at the 3 days down signal. that also suggested that we could be below the all-time high for longer than last time. We've looked at 3 red weeks. It's what Michael had come up with on his channel. That's also occurred. And so far, everything seems to be playing ball to those signals, suggesting that we're going to see longer time underneath this all-time high than what we have done in the past. When does that happen? All right, well, for the stock market, we're watching out for a bottom in May. And then if we happen to get that rally and it comes back down again, then we'll look out for something roughly around June, July, because it's happened before and we're looking at cycles. But I'll update that on the channel because it'd be better just to look at some graphs on that. But essentially, if you can just remember that, we're looking out for some sort of low this month and we'll see how everything reacts. What else is going on is that US dollar is finding some strength again. So it's probably going to be a bit difficult for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to go up while the US dollar is finding a little bit more strength yet again. So we're going to keep that in the backs of our mind. So we've looked at Bitcoin, we've looked at the time frames to a potential low. We're watching out for something in May, which then means it's got to climb back to a new all-time high. So it could be 2 months down, a month or 2 up, which would then put us at around 3-4 months until it reaches a new all-time high, which could mean a new all-time high in the second half of 2024. I think at this rate, we've got 2 months to go for the first half. Probably seems unlikely that Bitcoin would reach a new all-time high in this half of 2024. Yeah, maybe it happens late June. We'll wait and see, right? There's plenty of time to go. But in terms of where it's coming down to, it's getting to a better risk-reward area than obviously the last 6 weeks. The last 6 weeks was at an all-time high. So what does that mean? Essentially, we've seen it come back 20%. It's done that before. Could it go further? Yes. We've got a 50% level coming in at $56,000. That would be 24% from the all-time high. Okay. So that's 24% down would be 56K, and then down to sort of 51, 52, 53K, that would take you down to a 30% drop from the all-time high. So still within a healthy correction. It'd just take longer to get back to the old all-time high. That's how these things work. So overall, I'm looking for a bottom coming in the first half of 2024, and then work our way out of that low. After that, could be June, because we might see a bottom in May and then it'll start to work its way out of that low. Not saying a new all-time high, they expect a new all-time high probably in 2024. Smash up the like button. I'll be back in the office again. I hope you've enjoyed the another outdoor entertainment here with the beautiful Burley Heads. The surf was great, if you asked. Had a fantastic time. Yeah, I'll be back in the next one. Let me know you like this stuff and you like the outdoors, and I'll see you back in the next one. Cheers, guys.